Hello, how are you doing? So recently I have fallen back in love with actually marketing my own business. I say that like it's hilarious. It's really not, because you need to consistently market and put yourself out there and share what you do and what you're all about. And over the last year or so, there have been definitely times where I felt really consistent. I've been able to do things. And there's been times where I haven't. And Instagram has kind of come to the bottom of the pile, I guess. Don't hate me, Instagram, if you're listening to this. Please do still share my stuff. But that sense, I guess, of having to show up and be all of the things, especially with a full client list, it's been hard. And I'm not saving lives, my goodness, let's get this into perspective as well. But you have to prioritize, basically. And when I only had minimum hours in the day, and before we went into lockdown the first time, I just had a baby, so there was busy stuff going on anyway. But my priority over this last year has been delivering the work and working with the clients who I work with on a regular basis. And what I didn't want to do is not deliver what I said that I would for those and then be messing about on Instagram or somewhere else all day long. So I thought it might be useful if you're feeling a bit like this of, oh no, I haven't really done anything for a while, or I don't know where I'm going with it, or is anything working? Shall I just blame the algorithm? Here's what worked for me. I firstly had to really connect with, why am I there? What do I want to bring? And not like what is necessarily just my intention, as in like, I want to get clients. But I was thinking about what sort of energy I wanted to bring to the party. And I was saying this to a client the other day, that even though sometimes, there was a moment of complaining about homeschooling and doing all of the things and the mental load and all of that I have experienced. But do I use this platform for that? Not necessarily. I would chat to Matt or my mum or my friends, and I would do that as sort of my personal life. And as I'm saying this, like, there's no right or wrong way. I'm just giving you a bit of context in terms of how I run my business. But when I'm showing up, I want to be useful. So whether that's me bringing my own value in terms of my content, whether that's sharing other people's, whether that's highlighting other people's stories, then that's what I'm here for as well. And of course, there's a bit of casual scrolling and saving recipes and tiles and all that lovely stuff. But I had to get to a place of, why am I here? What am I doing? What is the point of all this? And what do I want to bring to the party? And one of the things I kept coming back to again and again was, I just didn't want to add to the noise for the sake of it. And I didn't want to just be like everybody else who was saying, come on, you got to hustle harder, or live your dream, or all of this stuff that I guess I was hearing that noise again and again. So doing that work has made everything much easier, because what I've done is I've sort of reset my foundations and gone, is that piece of content going to fit with that or not? And sometimes that has meant me having a stern word with myself and going, why are you thinking about putting that online? Like, it's not relevant. It's not part of anything. So it's helped me to be really clear in that. The second thing was to give things a refresh. And I got really stuck in my, again, all of this in context, I'm not saving lives or anything like that. But equally, I'm spending a lot of time on my business, and I have done over the last nearly 10 years. And I got a bit stuck with my own branding. I felt a bit stale, basically. So I started to introduce a few new colours to it, which again, as if you've read my post earlier in the week, it goes against all of the branding rules. Like, you should have only 3 colours and you should have one, all of the things. And I just kept being, see, it's here. I kept being drawn. It's not quite as sort of luminous here. I kept being drawn, and look, it's kind of here as well. Getting so excited. And on the Instagram button as it goes red, I kept getting really drawn to that colour and that mustard colour and that sort of jadey green colour. And I wear a lot of colours myself, even though I'm all in black, ironically, today. And I'm really into colour, and I have a lot of colour in my house. I have a lot of colour on my plate. I really enjoy, having lots of, like, my kind of favourite sort of food is like when you get like 5 different salads with a thing and a dip and a pita bread, and like I love to eat like that. And I suddenly found that by introducing stuff and I guess ignoring the rules, I had a bit of a new lease of life. And this week I've noticed my percentages, my data, because I do look at it, it's important to do so, and my engagement and everything, it's had a response, and my engagement has boosted. And as that process of creating content and putting stuff out there, it's felt easier. And so I guess that's my second takeaway, is what can you do to make it easier? What can you do to make it feel exciting? So this thing of marketing your business doesn't become a chore. It doesn't become something that you have to do, but it's something where you're like, oh, I'm going to write a blog post about that. Oh, that would be a really good idea. Or I want to make a video or that. I want to say that out loud. Go with that feeling. See what comes up. The final thing I want to say is, well, no, actually there's 2. How can you create containers for this? So, for example, maybe 3 actually. How can you batch stuff? So how can you get to a point where you're always going to have content or ideas? So is that a notes section on your phone? Is that folders on your desktop? How can you capture all of those ideas? The 4th thing is, I guess, what are going to be your new normals on this? Are you going to make a commitment to post every day, for example? Or do you post on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday? And I think just supporting yourself to create that new habit. So I was talking a little while ago about my new exercise things, or what I'm working on. And I got to a point where I realized there was a pattern in my life where I would do things when I felt like them. And quite frankly, that is not the way to roll, because sometimes, and also, life is throwing up so many things. The amount of times where it's like, oh, I'm really tired today, or I've got so much on, so today won't be the day, or I've got a massive spot, or I just don't feel in a good place today, so I'm not going to do it. And I've really realized that, yes, of course, I should listen to my body and how I'm feeling as well. But also I should call out my own nonsense. And this is what's been happening with this 10 minutes a day of yoga that I've been trying to do, and I'm back on it again. I missed 2 days and tried to convince myself. I was like, I was sort of vaguely doing. No, I wasn't. I was saying, like, when I put my daughter to bed, I was lying on my side, and that was kind of a stretch. No, I need to get my mat out, and I need to do it for 10 minutes a day. But it's been really interesting in terms of setting those new habits and making those commitments to myself of, what is this thing? Now, for you might be going, I can't do something every day. It's just going to be too much. It's going to burn myself out. What would I even say? So set a new way, a new rhythm that's going to work with you. And if you need to take a couple of hours at the beginning of the month and plan it all out, then absolutely do so. Number 5, this is the final point. What do you want people to do with that information? And is it linked to your business? Is it linked to them coming to your website and finding out more information? Is it for them to listen to the podcast or find out more from the series on your IGTV? Is it a way that people can know, like, and trust you? What is that thing? Because again, if you're just posting or scrolling or just hanging out and you're not really sure why, it's going to get really hectic really quickly. So I hope that was useful today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and always just being so lovely to me on this platform, Instagram. Thank you so much. And also, if you're listening to this as a podcast, because, I really practice what I preach and I repurpose content, happy days. Thanks so much for joining there as well. If you like this, please share it in your stories or email it to somebody. Copy the link. I would really appreciate it. And sending lots of love. Bye.